ඔන්න පටන් ගමු.
So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our session. So, first of all, I would like to know if you can hear me. So, if you can hear me, please type yes. From my side, everything looks fine. So, can you see me? Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, great, great. Thank you. So, guys, let's slowly start. So, welcome to our session. My name is Nash Akhtar. So, today we have a session where we're going to understand the essential skills. So, the main idea is to understand what exactly we should master for listening and reading, and what exactly we should do for speaking and writing. So, that's the main aim. So, if you're here for the first time, so once again, my name is Nash Akhtar. I'm a certified IELTS trainer. I also worked as a director of an official IELTS testing center in Eastern Europe. I was in charge in monitoring, conducting the IELTS exam, promoting, helping English teachers to become certified IELTS trainers. So I've been involved in IELTS for more than 10 years. So that's my background. And then in Sri Lanka, we have prepared more than 1,000 Sri Lankan students to achieve very high scores in IELTS. And quite often, students achieve a very good score on their first attempt. So, before just speaking about we are successful and so on, no, my main aim is for you all to understand when we prepare for English exams, we need to really understand the system. Now, for example, guys, in Sri Lanka, maybe you all know there are two English exams which are quite popular. The most popular, even now, is IELTS, and the next one is PTE, Pearson Test of English. Now, the thing is, quite often people look at it like this, like, I need to move abroad, right? Or I need to enter a foreign university. I need to pass this English exam. Yes, it's a requirement. But sometimes, or in many cases, people think that IELTS is easier than PTE or PT is easier than IELTS. It's not like that, right? These two are different exams, and that's something I want to discuss too. So, the point I want to share is there is a system. ඒක ඉතාමත්ම වැදගත් සිස්ටම් එකක් දැනගන්න ඕනේ. හැම දෙයකටම මෙතඩ් එකක් තියෙනවා. right? අපි බලමු weight lose කරන්න, fit වෙන්න, muscles build කරන්න. ඒ වගේ skill එකක් master කරද්දී අපේ brain එකට හරියන විදි අපි දැනගන්න ඕනේ. Like that, there is a proven system for IELTS. It's not my system. ඒක මගේ system එක නෙමෙයි. It's not a system invented by a teacher. It's the official method. ලොකුම ප්‍රශ්නේ English exam වලදී PT වුණත් හරි එක textbook එකක් නැහැ. හරියට prepare වෙන්න. That's true. Right? If you take IELTS, it's the opposite. ඒක වෙන විදියට. මොකද ඒක ඉතාමත්ම popular. You can find enough and more resources, right? You go to Sarasai bookshop, you can find different books. But the thing is, what is the real format? අපි කවදාවත් හිතන්න ඕනේ මේක ඇවිල්ලා මේ listening, reading, writing and speaking, listening වල මෙන්න මේ questions, reading එහෙම නෙමෙයි. මේ sections වලට අපි මොන skills ද ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ? That's a very important thing. So this is very important, guys, because even for me, and I'll show you, as a trainer, it's a huge responsibility. මේක නිකන් මම career English උත් කරනවා, මම coaching කරනවා, training කරනවා. ඒකේ තියෙන burden එක responsibility එක හරිම අඩුයි. මේක තියෙන responsibility එක ඉතාමත්ම වැදගත්. Now, even for example, New Year holidays, now we are starting our group on the 20th, and some of my students are taking the exam this Saturday, 18th, right? So මට relax කරන්න බෑ මොකද ඒගොල්ලෝ මාව විශ්වාස කරලා, right? මගේ course එකට join වුණේ. And the දෙවනි point එක තමයි exam එක 74000යි or 70000යි, 74,000, 70,000 rupees, right? It's a big amount, right? ඒක ලොකු amount එකක්. මොකද අපේ පඩි වුණත් 200ක් තිබ්බත් 74 is a big amount. I agree. So the thing is, when we prepare for this exam, we can't take this lightly, right? හැබැයි එහෙම කිව්වයි කියලා pressure එක දාගන්නත් හොඳ නැහැ. So what I want to show you today, guys, is the most important thing is the exact skills you need to know. Number one. Number two, right? ඉතාමත් වැදගත්, right? මේක නිකන් අපි බොරුවට ඔහේ මෙහෙ කතා. Number two, guys, right? කොහොමද අපි හරියට prepare වෙන්නේ? මොනවාද skills අපි master කරන්න ඕනේ? ඒ වගේම කොහොමද අපි ඒක හරියට ඉගෙනගෙන අපේ target එකට යන්නේ? It's a very important thing. Because what happens is, guys, quite often, ගොඩාක් දෙනෙක් ලංකාව විතරක් නෙමෙයි මුළු ලෝකෙම. Because, you know, and honestly, guys, you see, I'm not like lying, right? මම මේ ඇවිල්ලා බොරුවට මේ ලොකු talks දාන්න මම කැමති නෑ. I've really prepared internationally. You see, so I know how it works. You see, so I've worked with teachers. I've trained more than 4,000 students throughout. You see, and I work with the British Council. I opened IELTS exam centers. So I have something to share. මම කියන්නේ මම ඔක්කොම දන්නවා. අර සියල්ල දත් නෙමෙයි, but I think I have a lot of experience. And I work with the British Council a lot there. And, you know, I even signed the certificate as well, the IELTS certificate. The point what I'm trying to say here is that you have to know the exact system. ඒක ඇවිල්ලා course එකක් join කරන එකක් නෙමෙයි. සමහරට course එක join කරලා කියලා pass වෙන්නත් බෑ. අපේ, you know, that's the thing. You see, guys, we are coming for a very beautiful, cultured background. අපි ඔක්කොම. Right? ඒක it's true. අපි ඇවිල්ලා ගුරුවරයෙක් respect කරන විදිය මට යුරෝප් වල ඒ වගේ respect එකක් කවදාවත් හම්බුන්නේ නැහැ. You see, and I know sometimes some of my students, it's very sweet. The exam එක අනිද්දා නම් they don't want me to teach them. හැබැයි ඒගොල්ලන් කැමති මම call එකක් දීලා ඒගොල්ලන් that's the respect they have for the teacher. ඒක මොනවත් නෙමෙයි. But the point is, right, what is very important is අපි අර system එක හරියට master කරන්න ඕනේ. That's very important that's very important for exams, and that's very important for career to succeed. It's a very important thing. So, guys, that's what we're going to learn. ඒක තමයි main aim එක. එහෙනම් මේ ඔහේ ඇවිල්ලා කවදාවත් යන්න බෑ. මෙතන ඇවිල්ලා පොඩි free session එකක් මම මොනාර නේ මම I want to show you the exact system that you should follow even if you prepare by yourself. ඒක අපි stages වලට break කරලා අපි බලනවා කොහොමද ඒක අපි කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. So I would really appreciate ලැජ්ජ නැතුව අන්තිමට ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න clarify කරන්න. It's very important, guys. You see, because, you know, the most dangerous things when it comes to IELTS, the most dangerous thing, I'm sorry, is that repeating the exam again. ඒකට අපි වටන හනරකයි. ඒක ඉතාමත්ම අමාරුයි. ඒක වුණාම මම බොරු කියන්නේ සමහරට මගේ ස්ටුඩන්ට් කෙනෙක්ට රීටේක් වෙන්න වුණොත් මම හරියට දුක් වෙනවා. මොකද ඒ වියදම් කරපු සල්ලි, right? ඒ ෆේස් එක ආයෙත් යන එක ලේසි නෑ. So අපි ඒක අවොයිඩ් කරන්න. බෑ ගොඩාක් ස්ටුඩන්ට්ස් මම සමහරට තරහත් වෙනවා අර irresponsibility ගතිය. Right? ඒක ඉතින් ගොඩාක් කට්ටිය exams මේ English PTU හෝ IELTS fail වෙන්නේ මොනවත් හින්දා නෙමෙයි. අර disorganized approach එක. That's the thing. That's what is causing. It's not because of other teachers are bad. මම එහෙම කියන්නේ. It's not because other institutes are bad. Mostly because we are quite disorganized. And ඒකට හේතුවකුත් තියෙනවා. අපි professionals, අපි students ලා, අපි university යනවා. අපි maybe, you know, we have a family, right? දැන් අවුරුදු ඉවරයි. Right? එතන අපි තියෙන so many things, right? It's new. Trump, so the thing is, we live in a world which is very volatile, stressful, and especially when you're a grown-up or a professional, it's very difficult, guys, to, you know, to organize yourself. So that's an important thing. Now, let's say you're planning to take the exam in 1 month, 2 months. අපි මාස දෙකකින් exam එක ගන්න plan කරන් ඉන්නේ. අපි මාසයකින් ගන්න plan කරා. අපිට මාසෙකින් ගන්නම ඕනේ. මොකද්ද ඔයාගේ long term plan එක? ඒ කියන්නේ හැම week එකෙම කොච්චරක් time already the commit කරන්න. You need to write it down, guys. It's not even a joke, right? Or if you plan to take the exam in 2 to 3 months, how much time are you ready to dedicate every day or every week? Because without that kind of plan, you can't be preparing for these exams. You can't. And every student, and honestly, guys, you see, every student who got a very good score, you see, even we have recent scores, like, you know, who got very high scores are the ones who achieved, followed a proper plan. And that's an important thing that we'll discuss as well. So, guys, don't worry. I'm going to teach. I just want you all to know. Because the thing is, quite often people struggle not because they are weak. Weak mein hinda nahi, right? Or not because, you know, they can't master skills properly. Someone is smarter. The other person is not. No. Quite often people succeed just because of discipline, just because of the consistency, just because they learn the right things at the right time. So මම හරියට මේ system එක අද කියලා දෙන්න යනවා. මම පොඩක් මේ session එක වෙනස් විදිහට කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. So I'm pretty sure, guys, I will really appreciate ලැජ්ජ වෙන්නේ නැතුව questions අහන්න, doubts එක clarify කරන්න. බලමු අපි කොහොමද ඒකට support කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. Fine. So guys, that's about the introduction. I don't want to spend more time, but I would really like to know very quickly your plans related to IELTS, and also if you're considering between IELTS and PTE, if you want to know the differences, right? I'm ready to explain that as well. So I'm not going to speak about PTE much, but if you have questions, I'll be I'm more than happy to answer those questions at the end of our session. Fine. So, guys, can you introduce yourself? Like, hi, I have a template here. Hi, I'm Aisha from Candy. I need us for UK immigration. I need band 7, and I'm planning to sit the exam in 2 months. This is my second attempt. So, what I want to know is your name, why you need IELTS, your required band score, when you plan to take the exam, whether this is your first attempt. Okay? Don't feel shy, right? Come forward. That's important. So, guys, let's start. Let's not take much time. So, we have Aflal, Angie, Ashini. Yeah, beautiful names. Beola, Bhagya, Chaturika, Dilani, Dulshi, Jaivira, Jivadas, Kosali. Yeah, so, guys, let's start. Shanali, Vasanti, and there is a Samsung too. Shiny, Ruani. Yeah, so guys, someone come forward. Yeah, so your plan, right? Why you're here, right? What for? Maybe just to know. Maybe you want to know the format. Maybe you want to know about the exam. Maybe you're preparing. You want to get something more valuable. So please come forward. So SR, go ahead.
Hi,
Hi.
hi, I'm Sanika from Gaul. I need IELTS for New Zealand immigration. I need band score 6.5 overall and each 6. I'm planning to sit exam in end of the July.
End of July.
This is my first.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So your name, I couldn't get your name properly once again.
I'm Sanika.
Sarika, right? Oh, Sanika. I'm so sorry.
Sanika.
Sanika, right? Okay, okay. Welcome. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Line is breaking a bit. Okay, who's next? Chatrika, go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This is Chaturika from Panadura. I expect band score 8, and as well as expecting to sit for the exam mid of next month.
Great. So, Chatrika, why band 8? Is it like a requirement or it's your goal?
It's my goal, sir.
Understood. Understood. Fine. That's great. Well done. So, you're going to take academic IELTS, right, Chatrika? I'm sorry. Academic IELTS, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes.
Thanks, Chatrika. Okay, thanks. Who's next?
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Angie. I'm from Colombo, by the way. I needed to take IELTS for I'm planning to move to Germany for education. So I'm planning to take I'm aiming a score of 7 because that is their basic requirement. And then I'm planning to do the exam by 6th of May.
Me. Okay. Understood. So, Angie, required score is 7, but it would be nice to have more, right? That will make
Yes,
things easy. Okay.
yes,
Understood.
yes.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Angie. Thanks for sharing. Aflal, go ahead. Okay. Anyone else?
Hi, sir.
Yeah, Aflal, go ahead. Yeah, please go. Hi.
I'm Aflal from Mount Livonia. I need IELTS for continue my studies in abroad. I need band 7 and planning to sit the exam in 2 or 3 months.
Understood. Understood.
This is my first time.
Great. Aflal, what is the required score? What is the required score?
7.
Band 7. Understood. Okay. Anyone else, guys? Maybe someone typed? Yeah,
Hi,
please. Hi, go ahead.
Nash.
Hi.
I'm Beulah. So I'm planning to do my IELTS next month to migrate to Germany for academic purposes. So I'm expecting a score of 7.
Great. Great. Well done. Nice introduction. Thanks for
Thank
sharing,
you.
Biola. Ruani, what about you? Or Jivadas, please go ahead, please. Jivadas.
Hello, this is Jivadas. Actually, I'm looking forward to take my IELTS by next month because I have to do my foreign training in my MD Part 2 as a requirements for the MD Part 2 exam. This is my first attempt, yeah.
Great. What's the required score, Jivadas? What is the required score? What score do you need?
Seven
Seven.
is the minimum.
Okay. Okay, great. Overall 7. Anyone else, guys? Bhagya, go ahead. Yes.
Hi, I'm Bhagya Kurera from Nigamba. I'm getting ready for IELTS to move New Zealand for my higher studies. I'm planning to do it within 2 months, and this is my first time.
Thanks, Bhagya. Thanks for sharing.
Yes,
Welcome.
thank you.
That's nice, guys, when you all speak. That's anyone else? Quickly. Ashini, what about you, Ashini? Okay, so guys, Ashini, go ahead. Please go ahead, Ashini, please.
Hi, sir. I'm Ashni Jayan from Chilao, and I need IELTS to migrate Australia, and I need band 7 and 6.5 in writing. I'm planning to sit for the exam within 2 weeks, but I'm still stuck in between 6.5 and 7.5 in reading.
Okay, 6.5 and 7.5. 6.5, so that means you're stuck between 6.5 and 7.5. That means sometimes you achieve 7.5 and sometimes you achieve 6.5. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so when you achieve 6.5, that means, you make around 28, 25. That means, you make 13 or 14 mistakes. So have you understood where do you make most of the mistakes with which question types?
Yes, sir.
Which question type do you
I'm matching info or just
Understood. Fine. We'll see. Okay. Anyone else?
Thank you, sir.
Fine. So guys, let's slowly start. Okay. So thanks for the introduction. I really appreciate it. Somebody typed something here. Kosal here. That's great. In end of May, going to be my first. Fine, Kosali. Yes. Thanks for sharing. Could have spoken, but it's okay. Great. Fine. So guys, now we're going to focus on the structure, the paraphrasing technique, some listening strategies that you need to know, then reading strategies, and then we're going to focus on speaking and writing. So can't go into details with everything, but I'll definitely cover the most important aspects, which would be crucial to achieve a good score, right? So let's start now. So guys, when you speak about IELTS, right, it's the most popular language test in the world. Over 4.2 million candidates sit for this exam every year. So if you look at this exam compared to PTE or TOEFL or Duolingo, so those are the other exams which are quite popular, IELTS is the only language test that is still based on a particular skill for every section. What do I mean? Now, for example, listening means you listen and answer. Reading means you read and answer questions. Writing means you write. You read and you just write, right? Speaking, you speak. But if you take PTE, right, or TOEFL, or even Duolingo, there are integrated skills. What does it mean? Now, for example, PTE, you listen to a conversation or you listen to a lecture. Maybe somebody who has already practiced must know, right? You listen. And that's not a short part. You have to listen. You don't get to see anything. And based on that, you need to speak, right? Or the same goes with TOEFL. But IELTS, that's number one, is that it's based on separate skills, right? That's number one. Number two, IELTS is actually the only exam where the questions are predictable. Now, it doesn't mean speaking question or writing question is going to, but the format is so predictable. Now, if you take Duolingo, although we say it's very easy, it becomes harder if you don't make mistakes. So it's very adaptive. That's why we call this an adaptive test, right? Even if you take PTE, we don't know how many questions you'll have for reading out loud, right? So that's an important thing. To be honest, guys, only in Sri Lanka, I'm very sorry to say, it's very sad. It's very sad to see where people fall for unreliable things. Because I see that some people say, you can achieve a very high score in PT because it's all about reading out loud and you get many scores from that. No. Some people say it's about describing a picture. No. The thing is, you just need to understand the format very well. So coming to the point, IELTS is always based on sections, separate. So you just need to master skills based on every section at the exam, and it's not going to be that difficult. And questions are predictable. They can part one listening, right? The format is the same, and it's going to be the same at the exam. If you take part two, it's going to be the same. Part three, it's going to be the same. So you just need to know the format really well, prepare for it, understand the question types, and then practice based on those, and you will definitely achieve a very good score. Same goes for reading, same goes for writing, and same goes for speaking. So listening, since we only have the computer-based tests, it's going to be for half an hour. Reading, it's going to be for 1 hour, both for academic and general. Writing is going to be for 1 hour, but there are two tasks, task one and task two. So for task one, if you're taking academic IELTS, you need to describe graphs, bar charts, pie charts, maps, and diagrams. But for task two, you need to write essays. And for speaking, guys, there are three parts, part one, part two, and part three. So I'm going to show you every part and make you all understand some important aspects. So guys, I have my special book. I think if you're here for the second time, you must have received it. If not, we'll share it at the end. I'll let you know. So guys, now let's start with the exact skills that will be important, but we already know the structure. So we have listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Now, what I want you all to know is if you prepare properly, right, you can achieve the higher score for listening. If you then also prepare properly for reading, you can also achieve the higher score. What I want to say here is that listening is not that difficult, provided you have the exposure. Again, you have to listen to podcasts, you need to watch documentaries, or maybe even every day, 15 minutes, early morning, listen to something, maybe an audiobook. That would improve your listening skills, and it's the easiest section. Then reading, then it's speaking, and then writing. Now, for example, guys, if you look at European students, right? I have some results of our European students. Look at them. Look, you see, always 9 for listening, 9 for reading. You see, and they all have maybe 6. We have, for example, Ilya, for example, has 8.5 for listening, 8 for reading, but 6.5 for writing, right? We have Svetlana, 8, 8, 7, 7, right? And if you take our Sri Lankan students, the same, right? You see, 8.5, 7, and overall 7.5. Here we have 8.5, 7, 7, 7.5. So the thing is, what is very important is that you have to have a strategy. That's very important. Again, overall score 7.7 nang, right? Or overall required score 7.58 nang. Or hari strategy එකකට යන්න ඕනේ. So you can't give equal effort to every section, right? But you have to also have a strategy. Only if the required score is an overall 7, 7.5. But sometimes, somebody told me that, right? We also have required scores where you need to achieve a 7 for every section and an overall 7.5. You might have such requirements too. Now, for example, if it's for Canadian migration, right, then it could be overall 8 or 7, 7.5. But for listening, it should be an 8. And for other sections, it should be not less than a band 7. So my point is, when you prepare, you need to know the format. And what I can say is that if you prepare well, you can easily achieve a high score for listening and reading if you prepare properly. Then it's speaking, and then it's writing. It doesn't mean writing is difficult. Writing requires a lot of effort, and there are so many things to learn, starting from sentence structure, formal style of writing, how to develop ideas, how to structure paragraphs, right? And how to show variety of sentences. So not to make mistakes with punctuation, not to make mistakes with articles. So that requires more effort in the long run. So that's something that you should know as well. Fine? Do you have questions, guys? Maybe you want me to explain. It's clear, right? So remember, have a strategy, and based on that, you can definitely achieve a very good score. Fine. So guys, somebody's kind of writing on the screen. So please don't do that. Yeah, maybe you're kind of touching something. I'm sure you're not doing it deliberately, but it's yeah, fine. Okay, so guys, now when you look at IELTS, now this is a very important thing. IELTS is the only exam that is based on paraphrasing. මේක ඉතාමත්ම වැදගත්. මේක කවුරුත් කියලා දෙන්නේ ලංකාවේ. මම දැක්ක TikTok ද YouTube ද no one knows it, I'm telling you. Very sad. IELTS is based on paraphrasing, and it is the only exam that is mainly based on one particular skill. And if you master this particular skill, believe me, if you master this skill, then you will see how important it is for listening, for reading, for writing, and also for speaking. So I'm going to show that to you. So what is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing means expressing the same meaning in a different way. Now, this is done by replacing certain words with synonyms or by changing the word form and changing the structure of a sentence. So that is paraphrasing, right? So that means you say the same thing in a different way, like what we have here. The new iPhone 18 will be released in September. The launch of the new iPhone 18 will be in September. You see, so both these sentences, they give us the same idea, but they're presented in different ways. Is it clear? Now, for example, we can say, John is the most important person in our company, or I can say, John plays a crucial role in our company. So there are three ways of paraphrasing. So let's try to understand that, okay? And I'll show you why it's important. Look at the first sentence. It says, Yanni was the composer of Winds of Orchids. So Yanni was the composer. Look at the second sentence, Yanni, Winds of Orchids. Now, the missing word here is a verb. Yanni did something. Yanni, Winds of Orchids. So here, guys, we can use the verb form of composer. So that means to compose. And the answer will be Yanni composed Winds of Orchids, right? So you see, they both give the same idea. They both give us the same idea. But in the first sentence, we used the noun form. Yanni was the composer. But here, Yanni composed Winds of Orchids. Look at the second sentence. Can you do it for me? She performed really well at the concert. It's the verb. She gave an excellent, missing word is a noun, at the concert. What should be the answer? She performed really well at performance. Is it clear? So she gave an excellent performance at the concert. Sarah and her friend had creative differences. Now here, you see, creative is the adjective, like creative differences, right? Difference is a noun, creative differences. But look at the second sentence. We have the adverb, creatively. So Sarah and her friend, the missing word is a verb. What is the verb form of difference? What should be the answer here? So guys, now differ is the verb. Okay, everybody's differed creatively. Remember, you see, Sarah and her friend differed creatively. So what's the difference between differ and differentiate? Do you know? Like differ is a verb. Differentiate is also a verb, like differentiated. But what's the difference? When do we say differ and when do we say differentiate? Can someone give an example of that? Now here, look at the sentence. It says, Sarah and her friend differ. They differ. It can eglong venas. Okay, they differ. But when I try to find the difference, I say I can't differentiate. You see, they differ, but I can't differentiate. For example, John says violet and purple differ. It's a fact. John says, but I can't differentiate. So you see, you try to differentiate, but they differ or they don't differ. You understand? Yes, so that's the difference. But I get that question very often. Both are verbs. So differentiate is when you try to do it. Differ means when you see the difference, like they differ, they don't differ, right? So that's the difference. I hope it's clear. So guys, now, next point. So we understood, see, verb form. Now coming back to this, it's a very important thing. Both for listening and for reading, you need to know the word forms. What is a noun? What is a verb? What is an adjective? And what is an adverb? Okay, so අපි එක පොඩක් ටක් ගාලා ඉගෙන ගමු because that's a very important thing because if you don't know that, that's going to be a disaster. So if you take a sentence, we have the subject, boy. Okay, so for example, if you want to describe that subject or the person, right, we say big boy. So what does it mean? Boy is the noun, big is the adjective, big boy, right? For example, now if I say this, big boy runs, action එක, that's a verb. Okay, but if I say the big boy runs quickly. So quickly is the adverb. You see, so big, adjective, boy is the noun, runs is the verb, and quickly is the adverb. Is it clear to you all? Yeah? Why? Because when we have to complete summaries for reading, when we have to complete summaries for listening, when we have to complete sentences for reading, when we have to complete sentence for listening, we need to predict the missing word. Mona word ekada miss වෙන්නේ. What type of word is it? Is it a noun? Is it an adjective or an adverb? ඉතාමත්ම වැදගත්. මේක හරියට master කළොත් it's going to be much easier. So you'll see that. Okay, not like, we just speak and we go. I'm going to show you. So please remember that. Do you have questions there? Do you want me to explain that again? No, right? No. Okay, great. Great. So the next one, guys, is that replacing certain words with synonyms. Make a ඉතාමත් වැදගත් IELTS speaking වලදී. මයික පෙන්නන්න යනවා, so that's why you should know this. So the thing is, we can replace some words from a sentence with their respective synonyms. Now look at this sentence. Technology plays an important role in the education sector. Technology plays an important role in the education sector. Now here, important is the adjective. What synonyms can we use instead of important? Can you tell me? What other words can we use? Now I want more than 3. Ekak bag. Push yourself. What other words can we use instead of important?
Crucial.
Well done. Crucial. What else?
Valuable.
Valuable. Well done.
Major.
Essential.
Yeah, well done. So essential, crucial, valuable, major. Well done. Very good. You see? Now, do you see that? This is a very important thing. You all gave me some nice options. Crucial, pivotal, significant, vital, right? So whenever we see adjectives, right, you will always hear synonyms from the listening part. The same goes for reading. ඒක තමයි අපි question එකක් කියවද්දී adjectives, adverbs, verbs underline කරන්න ඕනේ. Question එකේ. ඒවා තමයි keywords. Why? Because when we listen, they might use different adjectives, synonyms for those adjectives, synonyms for those verbs, synonyms for those adverbs. That's why we need to know this. Is it clear? That's why when you read questions, you need to identify these words. So well done, guys. Very good. What about famous? Now, for example, he's a famous person. So instead of famous, what other words can we use? What other synonyms can we use? What do you think?
Popular.
Well done. Popular. What else?
Well known.
Well known. Very good. What else? Some are typing. Well recognized, well known. Yes, we can all say prominent. He's a prominent figure. He's a prominent person. Prominent, well known, prominent, popular. Well done. Very good. You see? So, guys, let's try to expand our vocabulary. Smoking is bad for health. So, instead of bad, what other words can we use? I'm sure you know. Now, bad is a word that we should not use. We should not use bad for speaking and for writing. What other words can we use? Smoking is, I'm sure you know, guys, starts with the letter H. Negatively influences, maybe. Yeah, harmful, detrimental, right? Destructive, right? So harmful is harmful for health, is destructive, detrimental. So you see, you have to expand your vocabulary. මෙහෙම තමයි words expand කරන්න ඕනේ. මොකද හැම වෙලේම bad use කරන්න බෑ, good use කරන්න බෑ, So ඒවට හරියන ඒ කියන්නේ better alternatives we need to use, guys. You see, it is a big problem. Can you give me synonyms? Now, what about big and problem? What synonyms do you know? What do you think?
Major issue.
Well done, very good. Major issue, excellent. What else? Issue. Now, problem, what other synonyms can we use for problems?
Effect.
Impact. Once again, what?
Effect.
Effect is a bit more general here. So it's not like a direct synonym. So issue is correct. Effect, no. Can have a negative effect, maybe, yes. A significant challenge, a major issue, main issue, well done. Trouble is a bit different. You see here, challenge, obstacle, challenge, setback would be more appropriate. So major concern, serious issue, right? Those are the right words. We must save or protect or preserve the environment. Children require more attention from their parents. You see, children need or children require more attention from their parents. So those are the words we can use. So as you can see, guys, we did not try to replace all the nouns that often. We always try to think about synonyms for adjectives and adverbs. This will be very important when we do listening and reading. Okay, so pay attention to that. And also for speaking, I'm going to show you. Then, guys, the other way is to change the word order. Now, one of the ways is to use the passive voice. Now, for example, the government should take immediate measures. Immediate measures should be taken by the government. Parents should teach children foreign languages at an early stage. Foreign languages should be taught to children at an early stage. Now, for example, John gave me this book. Okay, John gave me this book. Or I can say, this book was given to me by John. For example, John gave me this book, or this book was given to me by John. Now, I can say like this, right? John gifted me this book, or I can just say, this book was gifted to me. මතක තියාගන්න. එතකොට අපි දැන් passive voice එක use කරන්නේ අපි action එකට තමයි emphasize කරන්නේ. මම කියන්න ඕනේ John තමයි දුන්නේ කියලා. So I just want to say, this book was gifted to me. You see, so that's why we use the passive voice. So passive voice is always used to emphasize on the action. Now, for example, my father built this house in 1980. My father built this house. Can you convert it to a passive voice, guys? Can you try? Make it like, my father built this house.
This house was built by my father in 19... I can't remember,
1980. Okay, yeah. 1980. Well done, very good. So, yeah. So this house was built by my father in 1980. So what we can do is we can exclude my father. So I can say, this house was built in 1980. So that's why we use the passive voice. We use the passive voice to emphasize on the action. So this sentence structure is very useful to be diplomatic, indirect. Now, for example, you're at a meeting, right? Somebody made a mistake. So instead of saying you did this mistake, you can say, now let's say like you did not do the delivery on time. That's why we have this problem. So it's better to say we have this issue because the delivery wasn't done on time. You see, so that sounds much better, right? So, and for IELTS, we use this when we speak about, when we have to describe a process, when we give solutions, right? We can use the passive voice. So that's one of the ways of paraphrasing too. So when you see the active voice being used in the essay question, when you write your introduction, you can use the passive voice. Okay, so that's all, guys. Fine. Do you have questions? If you have questions, please ask. Maybe you want me to explain something? Okay, so remember, there are three ways of paraphrasing. One is to change the word form, noun to its verb, adjective to its adverb, or the other way around. Or, guys, replacing certain words with synonyms, right? Or we have the passive voice. We use the passive voice. Understood, right? So now we spoke so much about paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is everywhere in IELTS. This isn't just a writing trick. Paraphrasing is the engine behind every single section of IELTS. Now, listening, the audio never repeats the exact word from the question. You must recognize the paraphrase to find the answer. ඒක තමයි adjectives, adverbs, verbs වැදගත් වෙන්නේ. That's why adjectives, verbs, and adverbs are important. Reading, here I repeat, the reading, guys, for example, it's not the audio. The text is the same. We're going to focus on that. Writing is the same, and speaking, it's actually the same concept. So I'll discuss that a bit later. Now let's focus on IELTS listening. Okay. So what is IELTS listening? It's the first section at the exam. Since we're taking the computer-based test, it's going to be for 30 minutes. And while listening, you need to do the task. But IELTS is the only exam where they give you time to go through the questions. That's the best thing about IELTS. PT wala hemane, Duolingo, you don't get that opportunity. And even for TOEFL now, you don't get that opportunity. So with IELTS, what happens is, for every part of listening, they will give you 30 seconds or 40 seconds to go through the questions, right? And during those 40 seconds or 30 seconds, it's not like you just read questions, but you need to do it with a strategy. Okay. Now let's try to understand part one listening very quickly. Remember, it's always a dialogue. Ekane two people talking. It's a conversation. Denne kata karno. So it's a conversation, right? It's always a dialogue, number one. Number two, it's always based on a day-to-day situation. That means, a person trying to make a booking, reserve a table at a restaurant. Maybe he wants to join a course, right? So that's the context. So when you take the exam, rather than boru or martual exam, then may prashna balagane anne e wadata batnata wada, understand the format. So it's more predictable than any other exam. Okay, so number one, this is the context. Then, guys, questions often include form filling. 99%, I repeat, 99% you'll have form filling. 99%, okay? You will hear two speakers talking in a casual setting. Pay attention to specific details. So coming to the point, you're given 30 to 40 seconds. And the best thing is, questions are broken into two parts. That means first you focus on questions 1 to 5, then you listen, and then you answer. Then you focus on questions 6 to 10, then you listen, and then you answer. It's beautiful, guys. There's no exam like this where it's so easy and straightforward. Trust me. 100%. Easier than Duolingo, I'm telling you. I have a Duolingo course, guys. If you want, I can show you as well. I have a proper Duolingo course. So I'm being honest, but I'm not being like that. I'm just trying to show you that it's easier than Duolingo in this context. Okay, fine. So guys, look, what do we need to do when we have 40 seconds? We need to predict the missing information, right? So here, read the instructions. It says one word and or a number. So the answer should be either a number or one word. Now, postcode, it's postcode. That means, for example, in Sri Lanka, we have numbers like 1432, 6 digits. But if you take the US, they have alphabets like EY 678. So we know what it is. Date of birth means date. So but what they do is they will try to confuse you. So they might say, well, I think it was the 23rd of April. No, I'm sorry, it was one day after. So it should be the 24th. හැම වෙලේම ඒ trick එක තියෙනවා. So predictable. Reason for a trip, right? So here the purpose. Shopping and visit to the. Can you tell me what is the missing word here? Is it a noun? Is it an adjective, a verb, or an adverb? The forms හතර දැනගන්න ඕනේ, right? So shopping and visit to the article is there. What is the missing information? Is it a noun, verb, adjective? Noun. Remember, the market, the shopping center, the museum, right? So yes, well done. Traveling by bus because cost of something, right? Cost of parking, cost of fuel. So again, a subject. Got on bus at name of the street. So if it's the name of the street, they will spell it for you. That's all. So the most important thing, and this is a very important point, you need to predict the missing information during that time. After that, guys, they will ask you to go through questions 6 to 10. They will ask you to go through question 6 to 10. You will predict the missing information, and then you will answer. That's all. Is it clear? Do you have questions, guys? So I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to play the audio. I just want you to know the format. That's it. So when you take the exam, that's the exact strategy you need to follow. And when you deal with part one, so somebody's guys typing, please don't do that. Yeah, somebody not typing, like writing on the screen. Yeah. So guys, look. So when you deal with part one, if you prepare properly, you should not make a single mistake. Mukada make a harima lazy, so you can't afford to make mistakes. You understand? Yes, that's your strategy. That's the first strategy. That's an important thing. Then part two, quickly, we need to move. It's a monologue, always. That means always one person speaking, right? Always a monologue. So focus on information such as instructions, announcements, or explanations. Common question types include multiple choice and matching. Very common. And as you can see, you have a question, 3 options, or you have 1 question and 4 options. So that's the thing, guys. You have to prepare with the latest question papers. Again, Cambridge IELTS 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, etc. So if you go through those question books, practice test books, you will see that they all have the same pattern. Sometimes you can have map labeling too. That's going to be there as well. So once again, it's a monologue, one person talking, and you have to deal with this question type. So we're going to do this today. I'm going to show you, okay? So how to deal with multiple choice questions. I'm going to teach that a bit later. Part 3, it's a dialogue or a conversation, maybe more than 2 people, usually 3, usually 2, I'm sorry, sometimes 3, usually 2, sometimes 3. Questions focus on understanding opinions, reasons, and attitudes because it's always based on academic situations. So here, guys, it's always based on an academic situation. You can a university students having a conversation. So, 2 university students having a conversation, or maybe it could be a lecturer and a student, right? Maybe they are discussing a report. They're discussing something related to a project, right? So it's a bit more academic. So this is more challenging than part 2. But the question types, they are the same, like multiple choice questions or maybe matching questions and so on. And part 4 is a lecture talk. Now here, you need to complete a summary. You need to complete a summary based on the lecture talk. And only in this part, you don't have a pause in between. So you need to answer all 10 questions without a break. So that's why it becomes the most challenging part. So it's a monologue. So remember, part 1, dialogue. Part 2, monologue. Part 3, dialogue. Part 4, monologue. It's a lecture talk, one person talking. Okay. So guys, for lecture talk, remember, you always have to complete a summary. You need to predict the missing word, but you also need to understand the context with the subheadings. So for example, it's about elephant translocation. That means moving elephants from one part to another part or to another forest or another land. So here, reasons for overpopulation at Majeta National Park. You see, strict enforcement of anti-poaching laws, successful breeding. So those are the reasons. So here, guys, when you listen to the lecture talk, you need to also follow the subheadings. Now, for example, I can say, so as for why these elephants got overpopulated, right? Then problems caused by elephant overpopulation. That's a subheading. So problem, we know the synonym. So when you listen, they're not going to say, now, let's look at the problems. No, we can say, because of this overpopulation, we are facing certain challenges or there are certain downsides. So prepare yourself for that. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයා ඒ synonyms හරියටම දැනගන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. නමුත් ඔයා prepare කරන්න ඕනේ. You need to prepare yourself to hear synonyms. Do you understand? That's an important thing. So you see, greater competition causing hunger for elephants. So that's one challenge. Greater competition. And then, guys, they might say damage too in the park. Now, when you listen, they are not going to use the word damage because it's a verb. So they might use a synonym, and they will use a synonym. So what other words do you know instead of damage, guys? What synonyms do you know for damage? Now, damage too. That means these elephants are damaging. This is actually very much relevant to us in Sri Lanka, right? Because of the elephants, although they are wonderful creatures. But damage, what other words do you know? Harming, well done. Not bad. Harming or, now, for example, causing destruction, harming, destruction, or for example, maybe it's not a sense like spoiling, but you see, prepare yourself. So that's what you need to do. When you read, right, pay attention to the verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. So that's an important thing. So these are things that we need to learn gradually, and that's an important point. So, guys, remember, if you look at IELTS listening, these are the question types: sentence completion, multiple choice questions, summary completion, matching questions, question with two options, table completion, map labeling, flowchart completion. This is the syllabus. So you need to prepare yourself and you need to prepare for these questions if you want to achieve a good score. But I'll show you that a bit later. So if you look at IELTS listening, there are 4 skills. Number 1 is paraphrasing. We know now what is paraphrasing. Number 2, identifying keywords. So when you read a question, you need to identify keywords. I'm going to teach that today. Number 3, predicting missing words. You saw that because for certain question types, it's important. Number 4, paying attention to distractors because sometimes they might confuse you. So these are the skills you need to master. So you can't just do practice test, guys. Oh, hey, practice test karanda bad. Teacher kenek wunat, oh, hey, lamai put up questions tia karamu, right? Or before the class, they say, oh, I have to. It's happening around the world. It's happening around the world, not only in Sri Lanka. You see? So the thing is, students struggle because, I work for IELTS and, and if you take IDP here too, so for them, the quality of the exam is important. Unfortunately, they don't regulate the teachers. And I think IDP should do that. British Council should do that. Cambridge should do that. But it's their exam. I'm being very honest. I don't care. Because the point is, students suffer because it's not being taught properly. Right? So the point here is that you need to know the skills. When you look at a question, you need to apply these skills. It's very important. When I was in Uzbekistan, it's not a joke. Don't take it the wrong way. Right? Please don't get me the wrong way. So in Tashkent, so we had an exam center there. And I saw a guy, right? So very emotional because I saw a guy who had taken the exam 9 times. 9 times. Okay? So he comes to our exam center and all what he does is praying. And for a moment, he was crying. So do we really need to put ourselves into that position? No. It's not that difficult, guys. Make them a SIMA, SIM, advanced level. It's not like that. It's just a language test. So the thing is, you just need to know the skills. That's all. So if I'm not going to come and tell you guys this is very difficult, only I have mama kiyanne me skills tika danaganna one. And eka me rocket science ut neme. It's not. So just need to know. So that's a very important thing. So paraphrasing, identifying keywords, predicting missing words, and paying attention to distractors. Now, for example, let's try to implement it. Look at this question. Now, we know that for IELTS listening, part 2 and part 3, we have multiple choice questions. That means a question with options, MCQs. So what do we need to do? They will give us 40 seconds. During that time, we need to read the question first and identify keywords. So what are keywords? Adjectives, adverbs, verb, and the subject. Now, for example, why does the speaker apologize about the seats? So the keywords are why speaker apologize about seats. Why does the speaker say sorry? Why does the speaker say, please bear with us? For example, right? A, they are too small. Too small. Small, like adjective, right? So too small. B, there are not enough of them. There are not enough of them. That means we don't have enough chairs. Some of them are very close together. So you see, so you engage yourself. You try to understand the question and you try to understand the options. So guys, before you listen, think about synonyms. Now, for example, there are too small means the chairs aren't big enough. There are not enough of them means, for example, we are short of chairs. Some of them are very close together means the chairs are tightly packed. Right? Then guys, Look at the second question. What does the speaker say about the age of volunteers? What does the speaker say about the age of volunteers? The age of volunteers is less important than other factors. Young volunteers are less reliable than older ones. Most volunteers are about 60 years old. So the age of volunteers is less important than other factors. Again, not that significant. So important, significant. Young volunteers are less reliable than older ones. That means they are less consistent or not that dependable. Most volunteers are about 60 years old. That means they're approaching retirement age. What am I trying to do here? අපි ඇවිල්ලා ඒ options කියවද්දී අපේ words වලින් ඒ කියන්නේ සිංහල තමිල් නෙමෙයි ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් අපිට පුළුවන් විදියට rephrase කරන්න ඕනේ. That's a very important technique. ඉක්මනට. Now for too small, tiny, very, very little, right? There are not enough of them. That means we can't make everyone sit. Some of them are very close together. That means we are going to feel very compact or congested. Right? ඒ අපිට පුළුවන් විදියට ඒ options ටික rephrase කරන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම කළොත් අපි ඒ audio එක listen කරද්දී we are more attentive. It's a very important technique, guys. So don't even think that this is my technique. This is very important, okay? And you will see that. So guys, first read the question, identify keywords, then go through the options quickly and pay attention to these adjectives, adverbs, and so on. Rephrase it. That's an important thing. So guys, look at the question. Why does the speaker apologize about the seeds? They're too small. They're not enough of them. Some of them are very close together, right? So can you guys read the first two paragraphs? I know it's listening, the script, just to understand, because we are focusing on the technique. And also answer question B based on the third paragraph. Like, what does the speaker say about the age of volunteers? So once again, go through the options. Go through the options and then try to answer, guys. Okay, so I want the answer for question A and question B. We are trying to understand the strategy. That's why. So why does the speaker apologize about the seeds? They're too small. They're not enough of them. Some of them are very close together. What's the answer for this? And what does the speaker say about the age of volunteers? The age of volunteers is less important than other factors. Young volunteers are less reliable than older ones. Most volunteers are about 60 years old. So guys, let me read and I want you all to answer. Look, good evening, everyone. Let me start by welcoming you all to this talk and thanking you for taking the time to consider joining ACE Volunteer Organization. ACE offers support to people and services in the local area, and we are now looking for more volunteers to help us do this. By the way, I hope you're all comfortable. We have brought in extra seats so that no one has to stand, but it does mean that the people at the back of the room may be a bit squashed. We'll only be here for about half an hour or so. Hopefully, that's okay. So guys, what's the answer? Why does the speaker apologize about the seats? A, they are too small. B, there are not enough of them. C, some of them are very close together.
Answer B.
No, look, by the way, I hope you're all comfortable. We have brought in extra seats so that no one has to stand. So it's not B, right? There are not enough of them. No. What does she say? She says, like, we have brought in extra seats so that no one has to stand. But it does mean that the people at the back of the room may be a bit squashed. Squashed means congested, you see? So we'll only be here for about half an hour or so. Hopefully that's okay. Hopefully. So that's why she's a bit apologetic. She feels uncomfortable. So the correct answer is, well done, C. C. So do you understand? ඒක තමයි skills එක මතක තියාගන්න. Paraphrasing, you see? She didn't say like, you're going to feel, everybody's going to sit close to each other. No. She says, but it does mean that the people at the back of the room may be a bit squashed. So do you understand? Do you understand? So the thing is here, guys, that you feel congested. So the answer is C. Some of them are very close together. Look at B. One of the first questions we are often asked is how old you need to be to volunteer. Well, you can be as young as 16 or you can be 60 or over. It all depends on what type of voluntary work you want to do. Other considerations such as reliability are crucial in voluntary work, and age isn't related to these in our experience. So what's the answer here? So I see the answers are coming. So here, first answer C, and for B, guys, it's A. Well done, right? Because look at the question once again. What does the speaker say about the age of volunteers? So you see, so when you listen, before you listen, you need to kind of pay attention to the question. What does the speaker say about the age? And what does the speaker say? He says, well, you can be as young as 16 or you can be 60 or over. It all depends on what type of voluntary work you want to do. Other considerations such as reliability are crucial in voluntary work, and age isn't related to these. You see, so that means the age of volunteer is less important than other factors. Do you understand? So now you need to understand it's all about paraphrasing, right? They don't use words from the questions. So when we pay attention to these keywords, you be attentive. Now, another point about multiple choice questions is that they don't go in the same order. They don't speak in the same order as the options. You saw that. Now, for example, question A, she first spoke about we have brought in extra seats, right? So that no one has to stand. So she addresses B, and it's a distractor. It's a distractor, confuse. It is there to confuse you, right? And the correct answer is C. She didn't mention anything about A. So in most cases, with multiple choice questions, one option, they don't mention anything. One is a distractor. One is the correct answer. So that's the most important thing. So what you need to understand is like lifting weights. First, understand the technique. Then you keep focusing. So my approach has always been, guys, I never do a complete test. First, I show the script, I show the approach. Then, guys, we start with one question at a time. Then the students get, then we move on to a complete multiple choice question, set of questions. And that way, and then we move on to more complicated tasks. That's the right approach. So it's proven to be very effective. Okay, so it's clear, right? You see, so you pay attention to keywords, you go through the options, you think about synonyms or rephrase it, pay attention to the keywords while you're listening, and choose the correct answer. Try this, guys. It will definitely work. So I'm sure you understood the importance of paraphrasing. So this is exactly what happens in every single IELTS listening test. The examiner is always one step ahead unless you know the strategy. So you have to kind of understand. So that's how questions are created, guys. Every question is created based on these principles. However, you cannot do practice test on different websites. That is going to be a disaster. So please don't do that. I'm being very honest. You have to stick to Cambridge IELTS practice test. If you want, we will definitely share the link from a Telegram channel where you can download all these PDFs. So I'm pretty sure it will be important. So guys, that's our starter pack. So we will share it tomorrow with the help of our manager if you still haven't received it. If you're here for the first time, so we always share these things. Number one, the session recording. Number two, my ebook. Number three, the official practice test from IDP IELTS. We will share that link. Plus, another one, the link to a Telegram channel where you can download all these IELTS practice test books starting from 15 to 19. You can also find the 20th, the latest one, but you can download the PDFs of all these editions like 15 to 19 and also the audio files. And I'm pretty sure it will be useful. And just stick to those. And there are some websites where you can find these books as well, but they'll be very important. So guys, since you have joined the session, we will share it with you all. The manager will share it with you all. Okay, fine. Do you have questions about IELTS listening? Maybe something is troubling you. You're preparing by yourself and maybe you want to clarify something. Any questions? No. Okay, fine. So guys, we're going to move on to reading. Okay, so we've just reached 1 hour. So I'm going to take another 35 minutes if that's okay. So if you look at IELTS reading, the most important thing is that if you're taking academic and general IELTS, then the reading part differs. Because for academic IELTS, you will have 3 passages. For general IELTS, you will have 3 sections. And for the first 2 sections of general IELTS, you will have 2 small text. And for the third section of general IELTS, you will have 1 long text, which is almost similar to academic IELTS. Okay, so that's the first difference. The second difference is that general IELTS reading is easier than academic IELTS reading. When I say easy, what I'm trying to say here is that it's less complicated. Let me put it like that. Okay. So yeah, so you will always be able to do more. I mean, you'll always be able to get more answers correct with general IELTS. That's why the marking system is more strict. For example, if you achieve 30 out of 40 for academic IELTS, it's already a 7. But if you achieve 30 out of 40 for general IELTS, it's going to be a 6.5. So you need to achieve 33 out of 40. In other words, you can make only 7 mistakes for general IELTS reading to achieve a band 7. Is it clear? Yeah, so just know that, guys. Fine. So now these are the skills you need to master for IELTS reading: skimming, scanning, identifying keywords, paraphrasing, predicting the missing words. So the last 3 skills are common for listening as well. We focused on it. But skimming and scanning are related to reading, right? Skimming means to read quickly and understand general idea. Scanning means to locate specific information. So these are the skills you need to know. And reading, guys, these are the question types: sentence completion, matching heading. I think someone told me today that they are struggling with it. Then finding information from the paragraph, classification questions, true, false, not given, and then multiple choice questions. So what you need to know is multiple choice questions, true, false, not given, classification questions, finding information from the paragraph, right? Matching headings and sentence completion. But sentence completion, finding information from the paragraph, true, false, not given, and multiple choice questions are the core questions. So it's very important that you prepare for these questions. කියන්නේ මේව තමයි අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලම දැනගන්න ඕනේ කොහොමද answer කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා techniques, steps. Because if you are able to answer these questions like multiple choice, true, false, not given, summary completion, and finding information from the paragraph, you're able to answer at least 28 to 30 questions. Because the other questions are subtype questions. And I'll show that a bit later, guys. So, Cambridge's practice test book, so you'll see that these are the most common question types. So you need to prepare for these question types. Yes, please go ahead. You have a question, right? Somebody had a question. Go ahead. Okay, fine. Maybe somebody's experimenting. So, guys, do you understand? So that's the thing. You can't start with practice tests without understanding the format. And after understand the format, need to know the skills, and then you have to prepare accordingly. So that's an important thing that you need to know. So, guys, I think I've covered the important parts. Let's focus on true or false not given, okay, based on this. So true false is a very common question type. Now, let me show you a bit, okay, guys, because we've been speaking, and just to kind of, relax you all, I'll just try to show you Cambridge IELTS 18, because, it's more, it's one of the most recent publications, so I think it will be useful. So one second. So that's why, guys, when you do listening, you need to be careful. You can't just watch YouTube videos and prepare for listening or listen to their audios because they're not official, right? So they don't follow the formats and so on. Now, for example, guys, you see, we spoke transport survey. This is what we saw. So I'll just skip this. So for example, let's take reading. You see, the first passage is the easiest. You spend 15 minutes on the first passage. Summary completion, true, false, not given. Second passage, we have finding information from the paragraph, classifying questions, and then again, sentence completion. You see, then we have finding information from the paragraph, summary completion, and classifying questions. So you see, so you always find sentence completion or summary completion, finding information from the paragraph, true, false, not given. So those are core question types. You see, listening again, you see form filling, Question with multiple options, map labeling, again, multiple choice questions, question with multiple options. You have to choose two options, matching questions. Then you see a complete summary. You understand? Then reading passage, we have summary completion, true, false, not given. Then again, second passage, multiple choice questions, yes, no, not given. Summary completion based on words given in a box. Make a latest pattern එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ multiple choice questions මේ second passage එකටයි third passage එකටයි ගොඩක් common. You get this pattern. That means you will have multiple choice questions with yes, no, not given, and then summary completion based on words given in a box. I usually repeat this quite often because it's been quite frequent. You see, then the third passage, we have true, false, not given, and summary completion. So do you see that? So that's how you need to know the pattern, guys. Apro hey questions practice karanda bad. Then listening, guys, again, you see, I told you all, part 1, form filling. Part 2, question with multiple options and multiple choice questions. Question with multiple options, matching questions. Again, you see, a complete lecture where you complete a summary. Do you understand that? So you always, when you look at a summary, you have the heading and you have the subheading. So honestly, guys, smarter organization, my God, make a amari kele hemane. It's not at all difficult if you understand the format. Now reading, again, you see, finding information from the paragraph, summary completion. Then we have classifying questions, matching headings, followed by multiple choice questions. Then, guys, and also you have to complete the summary. Then we have multiple choice questions. You see, summary completion based on words given in a box and yes, no, not given. So you just need to know the patterns. And if you do that, you're all sorted. That's how students prepare. And that's an important thing. So, guys, if you don't have questions, we're going to move on. Do you have questions? No, right? Fine. Okay, guys. So now let's focus on true, false, not given task. And I want everyone to get a bit engaged and just listen to me carefully. Just listen to me. Don't rush. So when we have true, false, not given, you have a statement. You need to see whether this statement is true, false, or not given from the text. So step 1, read the statement. කවදාවත් IELTS reading වල අපි text එක කියවන්නෙම නැහැ සම්පූර්ණයෙන්. And you never focus on the text. අපි first, we never read the text. We always focus on the question. අපි question එක තමයි focus කරන්නේ. So you focus on the question, identify keywords. You know that today. Keywords are, remember, adjectives, adverbs, verbs, and the subject, right? Step 3, rephrase it. Are multiple choice questions වගේ. ඔයාගේ වචන වලින් ඒ sentence එක rephrase කරන්න, ඒ statement එක understand කරන්න. Like just to repeat it. Step 4, locate the information. එතන names තියේ, subject එකක් තියේ. Based on that, try to scan and locate the information. Then read carefully. So if the text, ඒ කියන්නේ passage එක, if the passage supports the statement, it's true. If the passage opposes the statement, it's false. If you can't find any piece of information, it's not given. That's all. That's all. Okay. So look at this, guys. The festival is held every year. So what are the keywords, guys? So type please. Don't read the text. It's almost time for the next Ripton festival. The festival is held every year. The festival is held every year. What are the keywords? So festival, subject, well done. What are the keywords here? Yeah, so remember the subject, right? Festival held every year. That means it's organized annually, right? Every year. So that means it's organized annually. Like, they have this festival every year, okay? So guys, if you see the first word of festival, that's the subject, right? It's in the first paragraph, you see? Here, as usual. So can you read this and tell me if this is true? Now, the statement says that this festival is held every year. The festival is held every year. Is this true, false, or not given? Is it true? Do they have this festival annually, every year? I want everyone to answer. Read carefully. So the festival is held every year. So guys, what's the answer? True, false, or not given? Just one sentence, the answer is there. Does the paragraph support it? Does it say the opposite? Maybe it says the same, then it's true, or it doesn't say anything about every year. What do you see? Guys, what's the answer? Is it true, false, or not given? Now look, it says as usual, the festival will be held in the last weekend of June. As usual. As usual, can be Hamadama wage, or in Tamil, endanalum. Yeah, something like that, right? So, as usual, the festival will be held in the last weekend of June. This year, on Saturday to Monday, 27th to 29th June. What do you understand from that? As usual, the festival will be held in the last weekend of June. This year, on Saturday to Monday. Oh, not visible. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Then you should tell me, guys. You should tell me. Guys, come on. You should tell me. Don't feel quiet. So, guys, it's true, isn't it? Right? Correct answer is true. Because here, once again, guys, the festival is held every year. That means, as usual, the festival will be held in the last weekend of June, this year, on Saturday to Monday. You see, so do you understand the paraphrasing? So, what we started today is the most important skill in IELTS, both for listening and reading. We pay attention to keywords, we rephrase it, we locate the text and read carefully. That's how it works. Okay, let's do this one. So now I hope you can see the screen. Guys, if you don't, please don't be quiet. ඒක තමයි ලංකාවේ තියෙන ලොකුම ප්‍රශ්නේ. ඒක තමයි මාස් ක්ලාස් වල ටීචර්ස්ලා ගොඩාක් පෝස්ට් වෙලා ඉන්නේ. Because guys, we just go, we are very quiet because when I teach my European students, we have a very intense lesson. They question me right throughout. They don't care whether the teacher is qualified, explain. They always push the teacher. And I know today I am who I am because of my European students. Don't get offended because, I had to play my A game. I never went to a lesson playing my BOC. I prepared thoroughly. You can see that. My presentations, that's the quality we provide, right? But my Sri Lankan students are very talented, very smart. They get good scores, but they're quiet. It doesn't work like that, guys. We have to come out of that mindset. You have to be demanding. You have to be consistent. If you don't understand, you have to ask, explain that to me. You can't be just quiet here, guys, because you're also a reason, one day, please don't get offended, right? Of the quality of education we have in Sri Lanka. It's true. In my career English today, I'm being very surprised. I train bankers, head of departments, people who work for prestigious companies, school principals, right? And they are not able to express themselves properly. So how can we compete in this comparative world without being able to express ourselves? But if you look at TikTok, on the other hand, right? There are teachers with expensive cars, speaking crap, I'm sorry to say. And the best part is even they can't speak English properly. And, there are mass classes. So we have to change that. We have to set a standard here. And that does not come from criticizing the teacher, but you create an example by demanding, requesting, analyzing, questioning, sharing your doubts. That's how it works. If we take Russia, for example, the most sanctioned country in the world, and I had so many projects there, even today, the quality of education is so different, guys. It's because the quality is set not only by teachers, but by students too. So you can't be just a consumer. You also have to set the standard, because that way your children, next generation is going to benefit, guys. You see, that's an important thing. So if you don't see, just don't be quiet. Say like, Nash, we can't see. What are you showing? Be like that. That's important. Fine. Okay, now let's go to the basics. Look at the statement. This year's festival focuses on the town's history. What are the keywords? Can you type? This year's festival focuses on the town's history. What are the keywords here? What words are important in this statement to understand it properly? The most important phrase? Well done, very good. So Kosali is very active. So this year, right, focuses town's history. So the main theme this year, the main aim of this year's festival is to show the town's history. You see, you've rephrased it a bit. It's very important, okay? So guys, history, town, can you read a bit further? Is this statement true? So this year's festival focuses on the town's history. It's in the first paragraph. Just, yeah, focus on it. So guys, look, what does it say? The theme is written through the ages. Scenes will be acted out, showing how the town has developed since it was first established. The theme is written through ages. Scenes will be acted out, showing how the town has developed since it was first established. So, guys, well done. Those who got it right, it's true. So, this year's theme is Ripton, right? This year's festival I focus on town's hobby, and actually it does support it. So do you understand? So that's an important thing. Look at this one, guys. Okay. Now I want everyone to make an effort. Look at the statement. Goods displayed in the craft fair are unlike ones found in shops. Goods displayed in the craft fair are unlike ones found in shop. That means goods shown in this craft fair are very unique. You can't find it in other shops, right? That's what the statement says. Goods shown in this craft fair or displayed, which are presented in the craft fair, are very unique. You can't find it anywhere. Everybody understands that, right? So can you scan this? Where can you find craft fair? In which paragraph? Look for that phrase. That's a subject. Goods craft fair. Where can you find this? කොහෙද මේක තියෙන්නේ? මොන paragraph එකද? Can everyone type? Craft fair. Where can you find it? Which paragraph? Scan කරද්දී right to left. මෙහෙම කරන්න. You see, then you don't read. You scan. Where can you find craft fair? කොහෙද මේක තියෙන්නේ? මොන paragraph එකද? First, second, third, or fourth? Well done. Second. Well done. Very good. Second. Thank you. So now, guys, come back to the statement. Goods displayed in the craft fair are unlike ones found in shops. So මතක තියාගන්න present කරලා තියෙන products. ඒ කියන්නේ අර presentation එක තියෙන ඒවා very unique. ඔයාට කොහෙවත් ඒක දකින්න බෑ. Can you find this? Is this true? If they say you can't find anywhere, then this is true. They can say, no, you can also find in other shops. It's false. But if they don't mention anything about uniqueness, then it's not given. What's the answer? So I see different answers. So you see some are saying it's not given and some are saying it's true. But those who are saying not given are correct. Guys, look very carefully. See, that's why keywords are important. Goods displayed in the craft fair are unlike ones found in shop. Displayed. Now, what does it say? It says the craft fair is a regular part of the festival. Come and meet professional artists, designers, and craftsmen and women who will display their jewelry, painting, ceramics, and much more. They'll also take orders. So if you want one of them to make something specially for you, just ask. You'll get it within a month of the festival ending. Well, what are we looking at? We're saying good display. It can a show piece. It can showcase karna theneva unique than other. Are they unique or not? Right? Are they unique? So it's not, doesn't say that. It doesn't say anything about that. It just says they're there to be displayed, but they don't say that, it cannot be found in other shops. That's where keywords are important. Can you understand that? That's the trick. Once you understand this, it becomes easier. So always give some time to read the question, identify keywords, rephrase it, and based on that, read the paragraph. That's an important thing. So it's not given. Do you see? For example, you see the craft fair, professional artists will display their jewelry, paintings, and much more. Important. The text describes what the artists display and they can make custom items, but it never says the goods are different from unlike items found in shops. Yes, they can take exclusive orders, right? But they don't display exclusive items. They don't. So just understand that. Is it clear? Okay, now don't make mistakes. I'm going to be very quiet. Can you all find the answer? The barbecue will be cancelled if it rains. The barbecue, subject will be cancelled if it rains. Refresh කරන්න barbecue එක word එක scan කරන්න locate කරලා read කරන්න. So scan it, read it carefully. Well done, guys. Well done. Very good. So you see, so you get the point, right? You get it. Well done. Very good. So it's false. It's false. You see? Well done. Very good. So why? Here it says the Saturday barbecue will start at 2 p.m. and continue until 10 p.m. The barbecue will be held in Palmer's Field or in the town hall if there is rain. So Palmer's Field if it doesn't rain, town hall if it rains. But the statement says the barbecue will be cancelled if it rains. It's false. It's false. You see? So that's how we work on it, guys. You see? So that's how we work on it. It's very interesting. Reading is actually, guys, really interesting. And, if you look at PTE or even Duolingo for that matter, I don't think they really teach you the right skills. Now, I have to make it the end. Purpose. You should ask, why do we have such questions? Especially when you have to read contracts, when you read an agreement, right? So the thing is, when you want to read a contract, maybe you're the owner of the project, you don't want to know with all the clauses. You want to speak about, you want to scan for the cancellation policy, refund policies, right? Extension. So you kind of, scan for that and read carefully. You underline that. So that's why you master these skills. Why are we taking IELTS or even any other exam for that matter? To use English confidently in a professional environment, right? So that's why we learn scanning. So never think, kawadaat hitan depa, like meva avilla me tricks. That's wrong, guys. These are the skills you need to master to pass the exam, because questions are created in a way where you have to implement these skills 100%. Or you see that. So if you stick to official books, you see that questions are created with a purpose. So you have to know this if you want to pass it. That's an important thing, right? Now, for example, yesterday I watched a YouTube video also where a teacher is asking questions, very interactive. And to be honest, I know him, Glenn James from St. Petersburg, by the way. So actually, I know him. We used to hang out. So he was actually an IELTS examiner. But some of the techniques, honestly speaking, I can't support because he is just entertaining. And today, even because now I'm in Sri Lanka on a short visit, and I met my best friend, very amazing guy. So he was telling me, he said, like, when I told him, like, how, because I was very shocked after coming to Sri Lanka, like how things are being done, right? So he said, no, he said, here in Sri Lanka, we have to have entertainment. Like we have to have these things, but it's an exam too. So apne entertain karana wala entertain karanna one, right? Exam karana wala exam prepare one. Mama exam karana wala Putin gana Trump gana politics kata karan. That also doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. You see, and that's true. No, you have seen, like, there's a biology teacher who spoke about politics, but today mouth is shut, right? That's not, we can't go for that, guys. If you're a professional, if you're goal oriented, you have to understand what is important, and you are smart enough and responsible enough to entertain yourself the way you want. That's your thing. But yes, I understand the focus lasts only for a short period, 40 minutes maximum. So the teacher has to run the show properly, but it has to be effective end of the day, right? Because what you need to understand is, it's a very important thing. Time cannot be earned. Money you can always earn if you're smart. But time, guys, is very precious. So that's an important thing that you need to know. So just keep that in mind. So anyway, coming to the point, even for speaking, that's why I said there is a strategy, guys, which I would like to share. So that's about reading. So there are different question types. So you understood the approach. So that's an important thing. So look at IELTS speaking. I'll just show you. And it's an important thing. In IELTS speaking, there are three parts. Part one, all about you. As you can see, the examiner asks you about yourself, your home, work, or studies, and other familiar topics, right? So he might ask, what do you do? Do you work or are you a student? What do you like about your job? What changes would make your job interesting? Would you like to change your profession? Or have you ever considered changing your profession? Or have you ever changed your profession? You will have such questions. Then, guys, you have how often question, like how often do you buy things online? What was the last thing you bought online? You see, do you ever see things in shops and then buy them online? Do you think the popularity of online shopping is changing your town or city center? Now, here, guys, if I were the examiner, I would like to see synonyms for keywords. Now, how often do you buy things? So, I purchase, I'm a frequent buyer. So, even without idioms and sophisticated words, if you can use synonyms for the word buy, that would be great. Now, for example, guys, do you think the popularity of online shopping is changing your town or city center? Here, the word changing is the key word. So if I were the examiner, I would like to hear synonyms for changing. What words can we use instead of changing, guys? Can you give me some synonyms? Changing. We're not able to use long words. Because if I keep saying change, that won't impress the examiner. Change. It changed, it. Well done, very good. Transformed, or like, it has evolved, it has shaped, right? The shopping habits or the way we buy or the way we purchase goods. So buy, purchase, or maybe consumers, right? So use some right words. That's important. Now, if you look at another set of questions for speaking, if you can see it, look at this, guys. You see, how many hours do you usually sleep at night? How often? How many hours? We call these as frequency questions. Do you sometimes sleep during the day? This is a yes no question. What do you do if you can't get to sleep at night? It's a solution. Now, for example, even what do you do if you're late to work? So you'll get similar pattern. Do you ever remember the dreams you've had while you were asleep? You see, so these are like memory questions. You see, now, what did you buy from an online shop? Or when was the last time you bought something online? You see, so those are questions related to your experience. So you'll always have questions related to similar situations in IELTS speaking. Now, for example, science. Did you like studying science when you were at school? See, it's a question related to your experience. What do you remember about your science teacher at school? How interested are you in science now? Now, here, guys, the key word is interested. It's not about science. What synonyms do you know about interest, guys? What do you know? Like, I am interested. I am. Can you give me some synonyms? Interest. What other words can be used? Everybody. What do you know? What do you know? Enthusiastic, yes, or keen on? Keen on. I'm still fond of Dulce. Well done. Fond of. You see? So if you're able to use such words in your answer, right, you're going to achieve a very high score. But if you don't use, now, if you keep saying, yeah, I'm still interested, I find it very interesting, it's not going to be that impressive. Remember that. Just remember that. That's one basic point that you all should know. Okay, so that's an important thing. Fine. So, guys, can't cover everything, but I just want to quickly finish off with one more. So, yeah, during my lessons, what I do is I go with a proper plan, and it's well systemized, and I don't think anyone can argue with that, because we invest a lot of time and also a lot of money in our materials, like, to revise. We keep adapting our materials every month. I have two designers who really hate me because, consistently they are updating or, like, changing our materials. Because number one, we always try to see how we can make it easier and more understandable for every student. And That's an important thing because maybe I know everything and I can say so many things, but what's the point if the student can't understand it, right? So that's an important thing, right? So we always try to change our materials accordingly, not because we find mistakes, but we always try to see how we can make it better. Like iPhones, right? So we still buy the same iPhone with the same features, but it becomes more comfortable, convenient, and so on. So what we do is the format is the same, the question types are the same, but we always try to see how we can make it more understandable, easier for students. That's our main objective. So, guys, when you come to writing, when it comes to writing and speaking, we need to understand the marking criteria. So, last point. So, speaking and writing, guys, it's not just grammar and vocabulary. අපි කවදාවත් හිතන්න හොඳ නැහැ මේ vocabulary, grammar විතරයි speaking, writing වලට වැදගත් කියලා, right? Writing සහ speaking වලට අපි marking assessment එක understand කරන්න ඕනේ. ඔයා essay එකක් write කරද්දී ඔයා බලන්න ඕනේ every criterion එකට meet වන විදිහටද ඔයාගේ essay එක ලියන්නේ කියලා. Task response, coherence and cohesion, vocabulary, grammar. Guys, what does it mean coherence and cohesion? Can someone explain? What does it mean? What does it mean coherence and cohesion? What is coherence and what is cohesion? Now, for speaking, we have fluency and coherence. මොකද්ද මේ coherence කියන්නේ? How do you understand or how do you understand a person is coherent when they speak or when they write? You guys need to know. And what is cohesion? Okay, coherence means being logical. A coherent person is well organized with his ideas. That's why it's important for speaking to. Now, for example, what do you like about your job? If I say, it's not about me, but if I say, I like the salary, I'm paid well, the boss is a nice guy, very friendly, then of course, friendly atmosphere. So that's not very coherent, just points. But if I say, I appreciate a number of things. First of all, it's the friendly environment. In other words, whenever there is an issue, we always try to support each other and we never blame each other. On top of that, I'm quite happy with my salary because for my position, I believe I'm paid more than the market price. These are the two reasons why I love my job, you see? So I'm being more coherent there. Cohesion is connecting your ideas. So your ideas are well connected with linkers. Yeah, coherence and cohesion. Task response, of course, you have to address the task with examples. Vocabulary, it has to be more academic and formal. Grammar, you should not make mistakes and you should show variety. Again, simple sentences, you need to use simple, compound, and complex sentences. All three. So here, guys, we have two paragraphs. Paragraphs. Can you read carefully? I'm going to be quiet. Which paragraph is both coherent and cohesive? Which paragraph is logical and also cohesive? Again, ideas lassanta connect latino. Which paragraph is that? Is it A or B? Well done. Well done. So, guys, you see, look, it says the obvious reason for a stressful working atmosphere nowadays is the increasing level of competitiveness among employees. Consequently, this leads to a hostile atmosphere in the working environment. The best solution for this is for employers to create team activities. For instance, it is known that many international companies organize tasks focusing on teams which have made the employees perform effectively in a relaxed atmosphere. But look at B, right? Working atmosphere becomes stressful because people have too much to do. I think the work should be limited. It is the employer's responsibility to do so. If not, you see, ideas are not connected and it's not well elaborated. So when you structure a paragraph, always remember this approach. Number one, the first sentence is your topic sentence, and that should be general and should have a clear idea. Now, for example, environmental pollution affects our planet in various ways. So when the examiner reads the first sentence, he would like to see a sentence like that. ඒකෙන්ද මෙතන අපි කියනවා environmental pollution affects our planets in various ways. Examiner a sentence එක කියවද්දී බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා අර various ways nicely elaborate කරලා තියෙනවා කියලා. He would like to see that. That's a very important thing. And look at the next sentence. Firstly, it has a direct impact on human health through poor air quality. For example, studies show that respiratory diseases have increased by 40% in urban areas over the last decade. Furthermore, pollution damages natural ecosystem and wildlife. In particular, the recent oil spill in the Pacific Ocean destroyed marine habitats across thousands of kilometers. Therefore, urgent action is needed to protect our environment. So, හැම වෙලේම paragraph එක structure කරද්දී a topic sentence එකට මුල් තැන දෙන්න ඕනේ, and it has to be clear, it has to be simple, and the whole paragraph should reflect that topic sentence. That's an important thing. So there are other things as well, when to use complex sentences, because when you introduce a point, make sure it's clear and it's simple. And when you elaborate your main point, when you give examples, then think about using complex structures. So once you know how to structure paragraphs, you'll be able to write any essay properly. That's important for PT as well, important for all the English exams. So a proper structured paragraph is important. ඒකට අර මතක තියාගන්න, now for task 2 guys, we have 40 minutes. 40 minutes. You don't need 40 minutes to write the whole essay for task 2. You need to manage your timing. Always remember to spend 10 minutes on planning, 20 minutes on writing your essay. 20 to 25, I'm sorry. Yeah. 20, 25 minutes on writing, or 20, 25. That's more than enough. To write an essay of 250 words, that's more than enough, believe me. And make sure you have 5 minutes to check your essay. So remember the time management formula. 10 minutes on planning, 25 minutes on writing, 5 minutes to check. So 10 minutes, guys, you read, you plan what you're going to write, how your introduction is going to be, what are the points you're going to write in your supporting paragraphs, the examples. So once you have a proper planned approach, it's going to be easier for you all to write a very good essay. So quite often people don't do that. They just write without a planning, and they know they kind of get stuck at the exam. So that's the thing, guys. Exam එක ඇවිල්ලා අර Usain Bolt කියපු එක තමයි. It really hit me. It's very true. Usain Bolt once says that what you see on TV, like when I run, it's nothing, he says. It's all about that training. That's the hardest part, he says. And you must have watched it on YouTube, so you can watch it, right? Like that, if we don't prepare properly, the exam can end up being a disaster. And that comes in many ways. So, guys, I'll just keep it short. The thing is, guys, you see, when you prepare for the exam, I often hear these points. Now, for example, I had a girl, Jayani. Now she joined our short program, and she called me and said, like, I took the exam and I had a 5.5 for reading, so I don't know. I panic. I panicked at the exam, and I still panic. I said, Jayani, why? What's the reason? She said, I don't know. She said, like, when I do it at home, everything is fine. This situation is, guys, because she has already thought it's going to be a disaster. And you won't believe. So I told Jayani, no. For example, I said, you do a complete reading and then send me the answers. Then she kind of, and I said, let me see where you make most of the mistakes. So she was struggling with true, false, not given, multiple choice questions. Today, guys, she's making only 8 mistakes. 8 mistakes, you see, out of 40. So it's a 7. And maybe if she makes 6 mistakes, it's going to be 7.5. But, already a significant improvement, right? So it's not like, oh, I taught something. It's also about your mindset. So quite often what happens is that you have to visualize. You have to see, okay, how the exam would be, right? How I would perform. It's like Aravind De Silva. They say like Aravind usually takes the bat and practices on the, before going to the match, like how he would face Wasim Akram or something like that. So visualizing is also an important thing, because otherwise it's going to be difficult. Like that, you also need to simulate exam conditions at home. Last week before the exam, like 1 week before the exam, you need to do at least 3 complete practice tests. Listening, soon after listening, reading, and after that writing. and get it checked. And I do that for my students, you see. So it's a very important thing, guys. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult. So you can't experience everything at the exam. So you have to simulate exam conditions at home under pressure, right? Because quite often I know what we do is, we do a bit of listening, then we call a friend, we say, how is the Aurudu, right? Then, we kind of check some TikTok, then we say, oh, what horrible this exam is. It happens to us, right? But when we are at the exam, we can't browse TikTok, nor can we call a friend, right? So you have to discipline yourself. ඒක ඉතාමත් ඒකට මම කියන්නේ අපිට හැම වෙලේම කියන්න බෑ මෙන්න අපේ ක්ලාස් එක දැන්ම join වෙන්න. එහෙමත් ඒකත් හරි නෑ, to be honest, you see. Because I feel like the student also has to be responsible. Otherwise, it's going to be very tough. Kauru teacher for that matter, right? So you need to know that the system is not just, attending lessons, right? And you can't just be a consumer, right? That's an important thing. So you also need to understand those stages. So guys, please, that's an important aspect. So remember, in our program, so I just will not keep it very short, is like we have a system. And the system is that there are 4 components. Number one, the Zoom lessons. So we have only online lessons. And honestly speaking, guys, instead of thinking offline, now, especially for English exams, I think online lessons are really useful because now it's all computer-based. Now, if you look at career English, I also want to do offline because I understand that's a different situation. Certain situations has to be done physically. Right here, guys, I don't see a reason. And I really don't see the importance of having anything offline. So if you have questions, you can ask. So Zoom lessons. Number 2, personal guidance. So we constantly assess your progress right throughout. And then, guys, our interactive platform. So we are the only organization now where we have a proper platform. This is not Google videos or stealing from some things. It's created by us with my team. And it's a very unique, effective platform and students love it. And then, guys, you also get to work with our ex-examiners. So we used to have exam centers in Eastern Europe, especially in Russia. So, I have a team of examiners who are working with me and they'll be checking your essays. We have a wonderful person who is like Steve McKenzie and students love it. I can share their reviews as well. So when he checks essays, students appreciate it a lot because the feedback is well detailed, well assessed. So you will get proper feedback and we can share an example if you want to see how the essays are being checked. So guys, look, if you want to join our program, I just don't want you all to join the program without understanding the path. So number 1 is the preparation. It's important. Number 2, practice. So practice is actually during the lesson and after the lesson. After the lesson means you have to work on our platform. True, false, not given kalama. What's next? So you have to, I'll tell you, these are the units you have to do it at home on our platform. You have to do that, guys. Then the mock exam. Guys. You see, now, for example, I'll just show, but I don't think she'll mind. So one of our students is taking the exam, and maybe if you're interested, we will let you know the results too. I just want to share, right? Not to, because I see that how it works here, and I don't want to be that, guys, because I want to be a bit honest, because this is a very responsible thing. So you see, guys, one of my students, you see, so this is our platform. So I constantly work with my students, and even you see, now this girl, Mukarrama, so she's actually our student. So you see, I don't want to lie. You see, she took the mock exam. You see, now, I wrote to her. I don't think she will, so please don't look at the number. Just want to share. So guys, you see, for example, she got not very high scores. You see, these are results from the mock exam. You see, so I panicked because she's my student, right? I am responsible. So I wrote to her. I wrote to her on the, I don't remember. So this week, you see, so 15. So she's taking the exam on the 18th. So what did we do? So I gave her the guidelines. She kind of, understood what should be done. Then I said, you have to work. So I shared the Cambridge IELTS books with her. And today, guys, you see, she's on the right track. So she has improved significantly. You see, so even today she wrote to me, you see, 2 listening practice tests, task 2, 29, task 3, 33. You see, I also completed reading task 2, 33. You see, so from a 5.56, she has come to a 7. So the point what I'm trying to say, so it's a very personal, guys. So I just want to share because I just want to be very honest with you all. You see, the thing is, mock exam is a very important thing. Have a mock exam samara kattiya ganne dawasakata kalin. So I get very angry with that. Ehema karanda bad, guys. You see, it's too late. Coach gila ibarai. Ehema kalot. You understand? Yes, it's not the right thing. So you have to have a structured plan, guys. If you go with a structured plan, you will definitely achieve a good score. But if you Join my program also. And if you don't go with a structured plan, then it's going to be very difficult. Because I see that. So I don't want to do that, guys. It will not work. I guarantee. But if you go with the plan, right? If you have to, even if you're preparing by yourself, guys, you should be doing complete test a week before the exam. Do you understand? A week before. That will give you an idea what you should focus more. Isn't it practical? Listening test check kala. We made 15 mistakes out of 40, right? What do we need to do? Do we need to pray? Maybe yes, we need to, right? But apart from that, we also need to understand where did we go wrong? Number one, listening again. Which section did we make most of the mistakes? Is it section 1? Is it section 2? Is it section 3? Is it section 4? Section 3 now, what question type? Multiple choice questions, matching questions, right? And then, guys, why are we struggling? Now, that is where we need to come in as teachers. You see, නැතුව guys අපි ඔක generally මේම listening හරි අමාරුයි, reading හරි අමාරුයි, exam එක හරි අමාරුයි, කොච්චර කියලා කරන්නද? You can't be like that, guys, you see. So honestly speaking, don't get me wrong, I'm an emotional person too. You see, as Asians, right, I've seen it because, I've taught many Europeans too. We're very emotional. We're very emotional. In a way, it's good, but we cannot let emotions take over the practicality of things. You see, that's a very important. So you have to be analytical. You cannot be critical. ඕන දෙයකට life එක අපිට හැම වෙලේම critical වෙන්න බෑ. We have to be analytical. We have to see the positive side of things. So that's the thing. Failure is a good thing, right? Failure is a good thing. You learn by failing. But you can't be failing a day before the exam, and you can't fail during the exam. Maybe we fail if we have given our 100%. So that's a very important thing, guys. So don't think it's a motivational story. More than 99% of my students, all my students who followed this method, they achieved very high scores. And actually, guys, to be very honest, I know because I've seen it, we are the only organization where we can show more than 15 in a year, like where students achieve 8, 8.5. We are very high with grades, guys, you see. So I don't think anyone can show consistent results. Consistent. I know that Mukarrama will easily achieve minimum 7 or 7.5 overall, 100%. 100%. Now she's on track. That's it. So the thing is, our mock exam එකක් කළා නම් දවසට කලින් I would not take care of it. But I understood, okay, she took the mock exam. This is the situation. Smart plan. Yesterday I had a speaking mock. I'm not lying. So I invited her for a speaking. So that's the thing. So to do that, guys, it's important for you all to go with the structure. Samara කට්ටිය දවසට කලින් they expect something, right? You can't do that. So I'm just saying you can't achieve a good score without being organized. This is, you have to have a long-term plan. You see, then the pre-exam support, you see. So we do provide the pre-exam support. When we say pre-exam support, your mock exam should be taken a week before. Is it clear? That's an important thing. But if you take the mock exam a day before, guys, how can we help you? Tell me. So this is something that we work on. So guys, that's an important thing I want to mention. So we have 3 programs. Number 1, if you're looking for self-preparation, we have the essential program. So what happens is 2 weeks of live lessons, then 3 months access to our platform, and then 8 essays are checked. Then, guys, we have our IELTS expert. So that's the most comprehensive program. So here, guys, what happens is you will have lessons for 5 weeks, 10 lessons, and then, guys, 12 essays will be checked. And then we have the proficiency course. That's our extended program. The difference between expert and proficiency is, number 1 is that you're going to have more practical lessons. Like that means you're going to have 20 practice lessons. That means 10 lessons for speaking and writing, 10 lessons for listening and reading. So you get to repeat, like, the essential skills twice. So, you get to practice multiple choice questions twice, matching questions, and so on. So that's very comprehensive. So if you're aiming for a very high score, if you have time, it's worth. And the other point of the proficiency course is that it's the only course where we focus on essential grammar. When you look at grammar, you need to know how to use tenses properly, complex structures, minimize grammar mistakes. Quite often, those who are stuck with 6 in speaking, they make the following mistakes. Number 1, like, tenses. So when they speak about the past, they don't use the right tenses, right? So usually they make mistakes like, they has, it have, right? So these are very common mistakes, could be overcome. But that should be done separately. So ඒව ටික හදාගන්න නැතුව prepare වෙන එකත් බොරු වැඩක්. You understand? So that's why every Sunday now we focus on essential grammar for IELTS. You see, so that's going to be at 8:30 p.m. from 8:30 to 10 p.m. every Sunday. It's an important thing. That's included only in the proficiency course. You see, so guys, essential course. What you need to understand, you don't get our exam support. You don't get any extra support there. It's just self preparation. You just get to attend 2 weeks. So if you're in a rush to pass the exam, go ahead. But we provide all the support through the platform. So with our special discount, guys, the essential is going at 11,000, expert is going at 21,000, and the proficiency is going at 31,000. But for the expert and the proficiency, the managers, they provide an additional discount of 2,000. So the expert will be 19,000 rupees and the proficiency would be 29,000 rupees. So we want to definitely increase because this has been out of the price too. So you can check, so we are just extending the prices for the expert and the proficiency, but we will definitely increase our prices because I understand, for example, other organizations with what we offer, the prices are much higher, and what we offer is way more, and we have much better performance, like results, with the way students have been performing. So that's something you all should know. So guys, look, how to understand it. So expert, what happens is, it covers everything related to IELTS, right? Look at it like that. So that means, guys, listening, we cover all 4 sections and the question types. Reading, we cover all the question types and the essential skills. Proficiency, you get to repeat it again with me, right? So you learn and you get to repeat, right? And also you get to learn grammar, essential grammar for speaking and writing, because without that, guys, it's going to be difficult. So those are the 2 main courses we look at. And both for expert and the proficiency, you will also have a pre-exam support. That means, once you take, so you see, we have a more structured approach there. And it's not that we don't want to do that for essential, but it's impossible to do that within a short period of time. So that's an important thing that you all should know. So guys, once again, as for the pricing, for expert, it's going to be 19 if you make a full payment. And for the proficiency, it's going to be 29. So if you haven't taken our grammar test, please take it. We will share it after the program. So that's a very objective test. It helps us to understand your grammar skills, whether you are able to use tenses properly, and your level of vocabulary. So based on that, guys, our managers will tell you what program is suitable. So it's very objective. So maybe they might say you're good for expert. If they say you're good for expert, you're good for expert. If they say it's better you take proficiency, you go for proficiency. But if you think, no, you want to try expert, talk to them. So that's very important. So that way, guys, we'll see how we can help you. Maybe, somebody would like to join expert and see how things go and then move to a proficiency. That could be done as well. So it's up to you. You decide. Fine. So now, guys, yeah, I think I've discussed everything. I'm happy to take questions. So yeah, so we have this tradition. And now we know we have Tiangi, Janaki, who got 8 overall. So every time when students achieve 7 and higher, we have this tradition of gifting mugs. So that's why I'm here, because I'm going to have a certification ceremony for our career English on Sunday, the 26th of April at the Ocean, the hotel. And with that also, we also invite all our IELTS students who achieved a very good score, and we give marks. So that's actually been our tradition every year. So we do that. And also, guys, you see, we have been very consistent with our performance. You see, with our platform, you see, it's a very unique platform. It covers everything, and students, they love it. And we always get very positive reviews more than anything about our platform. You see, it's everyone, they say, like, they found the platform useful. The platform is helpful. And what happens is the student gets to interact. A student have a teacher touch check in. You see, so we're very flexible, guys. And you see that I've shown you how we work with our students, because we take it as a huge responsibility, and students, they find it very useful. So what happens is, even when students fail to register for the exam after completing the course, like Hansi, we don't say goodbye to them. So the platform access is there for 6 months with the expert and the proficiency. So they are in touch with the teacher, and they get to send their essays. Their essays are checked. They take the mock exam. So in our program, the mock exam is included. So we support them accordingly. So that's it, guys. So once again, remember, we have the course, you attend sessions, you work on our platform, you write essays on the platform, and it will be checked by us. Then, you take the mock exam a week before the real exam, and then, you'll be hopefully achieving a very good score. And when we say guarantee, right? guarantee කරන්න පුළුවන් ඔයා ඒ path එක follow කළාම විතරයි. හැබැයි lessons විතරක් attend කරලා නැත්නම් recordings බලලා I hate that, guys, to be honest. You see, so when you miss lessons and just watch recording, I'll be very honest, it's not going to be effective. Right now, you saw that today you were engaged, you're involved, so that's important too. So you have to follow the system. If you miss lessons, it can happen. You can always ask the manager or maybe through the platform whether you can attend that topic on another day. අපිට ඒක කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් අපි අනිවාර්යෙන් ඒක කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ like even if you miss it, whether we can compensate, because sometimes we have weekend lessons. So usually we have lessons Mondays and Wednesdays, or Saturdays and Sundays. So if you miss it on Mondays, you can ask the manager, can I join Saturday? Or will you conduct this lesson in another group? So you can ask, and it's better to attend the lesson. That way, you don't miss it. Fine. So guys, yes, we are starting our group, our 20th April batch this coming Monday. So we have a few seats available. So we don't want to have big groups. So if you guys are interested, we are starting that new cycle. So please, if you're interested, you can join from Monday. So better to join from Monday, not from Wednesday, guys, but from Monday, because we'll be starting with listening and reading. We'll be starting with essential skills. So if you're interested, guys, you can join. And the grammar for the proficiency course will be from next Sunday, not this Sunday, but from the 26th of April. So it will be taught by one of our European teachers or one of our Sri Lankan teachers. It's not done by me, but I'm pretty sure you'll find it useful as well. Fine. So guys, do you have questions about the exam? Anything that you would like to know? No, Kosali, it depends. So for example, nowadays with the computer-based test, not everyone gets the same question. It might be recycled. So it's not like the paper-based test. So it's very different. On your computer, the question patterns would be different from another person, or it could be the same. So what is very important is that, usually when we conducted the exam in St. Petersburg, usually everyone had the same. So sometimes I've heard that, sometimes they might rotate it. So it depends. With the computer-based test, anything is possible, because even the exam centers don't know what questions you're going to have. You see, so they just start the system and they get to see with you. So that's something, it really depends. No, Bella, so basically for map labeling is similar to summary or sentence completion, right? Map labeling is similar to sentence completion. So here you need to understand the directions, like on your left, on your right, walk ahead, right? What you see first. Now, for example, it's the first turn left or first turn right. So those things will be important, Builder. That's the most important thing. So yeah, so there are certain skills, but you need to know the directions, right? Right opposite, right behind. So just focus on that. That way, yeah. So I have to teach that, but so just get the general idea there. Anything else, guys? Fine. So guys, we're going to send you out the grammar test soon after the session with the help of our managers. Please take the grammar test if you have time, right? And assess your level. And then you can decide whether you would like to join our program. So guys, we are continuing our offer till the 20th for this batch, because, we started a batch, the weekend batch. And, we have the last batch for the New Year offer. So if you're interested, guys, you can join. So I wish you guys all the very best. Yes. So aim high, visualize your success, and I'm pretty sure you'll reach it, guys. So thank you very much. Have a great evening. Good night, guys. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, sir. Good night.
Thank you, Nan.